Hello class, this is Mrs. Marty, and we are going to look into irony and how change can be unexpected, and also get to know a little bit about Lamb to the Slaughter, which is our text this week. Here is a circle map, and in the middle is unexpected change. We're going to talk about some times when things have happened in life that were unexpected. This is a very good year to have some easy examples of that with everything that's happened with COVID and all the different changes that have come into our life that they wouldn't have necessarily expected at this time next year. So have some things in mind so when we discuss that, you will be prepared. Irony. So we talked about this last week, or we learned about it, or even better, maybe just had a refresher. But irony is when what happens is the opposite of what we expect. And then we have perspective. And perspective is the way people look at or think about something. So your perspective on a certain topic or issue may be different than mine. Here's an example. It says Maria and Julia are sisters having a fight over a dress. Maria's perspective, or her point of view, her side of things, is that Julia should not wear the dress because it was her birthday gift. But Julia's perspective is that she should be able to wear the dress because Maria never wears it. So it's this same issue, but two totally different perspectives that cause some conflict. All right, so the first reading of Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl. A short synopsis of the story is there is a pregnant, loving wife is given shocking news by her husband. I know this may sound a little similar as last week we had a wife who was given shocking news about her husband. And again, we're dealing with irony. Here's a little interesting fact is the author of this story also wrote James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is a resource from somewhere else. It is just another example or a reminder of the three different types of irony and what they are. So as a reminder, in dramatic irony, it's when the audience knows something that the character does not know. Situational irony, we saw a lot of this in The Story of an Hour, is when what happens is the opposite of what we would expect to happen. And then verbal irony is when when a speaker says one thing but actually means something else. So we're not going to discuss anything right now, but when we have a live class, I may break you into rooms and ask you to discuss the three types of irony and how they're different from each other. And so we're also going to focus on how people respond to unexpected changes and how authors can use irony to build mystery, tension, and surprise. So this is the author of the book. The book is a short story and it is in third person limited point of view. And the title is here, Lamb to the Slaughter. So we will discuss what it means to be like a lamb and what does it mean to slaughter someone or something. And I know that's not necessarily a nice picture to think about, but it's some things that we need to keep in mind when reading this story to understand the symbolism and figurative language that's going on in here. So think about the characteristics of a lamb, what they're like, how they act, how they're perceived. And then in the same instance, think about what it would mean to slaughter someone or something, even maybe a lamb. So like a lamb to the slaughter is an idiom. An idiom is a saying that we've said for a long time. It's figurative. It's not meant to be taken literally. So idiom, like a lamb to the slaughter, means to do something in an unconcerned manner. So unaware of the coming disaster. So if you say someone is like a lamb to the slaughter, you're saying that they are totally unaware of what's coming, what might happen. A very common idiom you hear, probably heard, is it's raining like cats and dogs. Of course, it does not rain cats and dogs, but it just means it's raining very hard. It's coming down. Um, the rain's coming down very hard. So, like a lamb to the slaughter is what we call an allusion. And an allusion is a reference to another well-known work of literature, person, place, or thing. So this one is a biblical allusion, and the allusion is made to a passage in the Bible called Jeremiah, and that's 11 and 19. And in Jeremiah 11:19 it says, "But I was like a gentle lamb led to slaughter." And this goes back in history, and it comes from lambs being used as sacrifices. Okay. So we have our main character in the story is Mary Maloney, and she is placid, which means she's calm, she's peaceful. Okay. She can be described as tranquil, which is a synonym of placid, calm and composed. Luxuriate. She loved to luxuriate in the presence of this man and to feel almost as a sunbather feels in the sun, that warm male glow that came out of him. So it's thinking about this, and this is something that hopefully we'll get a chance to discuss. What does luxuriate mean? So if you have, being in Florida, we've been in the sun a lot, but maybe and it's very hot, but maybe we've been in a cold place and we go out into the warm sun and you're just overwhelmed by the comfort and the peace that you feel that comes from that sun. And this is saying that he made her feel this way. Okay. So some sentence frames. You will need to write a few things on this story, and these are some good ways to start your sentences or to include in your sentences. Mary's violence was unexpected because, or I expected Mary to blank, and then her action was unexpected because. Okay, so these are some things when you're asked about irony and unexpected characteristics of the story, some frames that you may want to use. Ambiguity. Okay. A lot of people do not like stories or TV shows or movies that are ambiguous. And ambiguity is an element of uncertainty in a text in which something can be interpreted a different number of ways. So if you've ever watched a movie and it ends and you are with a friend or just anyone else and you disagree on what the ending meant, then it was an ambiguous ending. Okay, so some things that we'll discuss in the story after you get a chance to read it is how is the husband's reason for breaking up with Mary an example of ambiguity? Why is that ambiguous or something that can be interpreted in a number of different ways? And a sentence frame you may want to use to write that with is the husband's reason for leaving is ambiguous because. All right. So, some predictions. I'm giving some things away. Do you think Mary will get away with a murder? And if so, how will she get away with it?